Day 4, it's done. Okay, day 4 is in the books. A lot to cover today. What did I do specifically as far as training and becoming a better real estate agent goes? And what did I learn? And what's the plan tomorrow? So to start things off, I just want to let everyone know that I had terrible sleep last night. I had like 3 nightmares for some reason and like was tossing and turning and had very poor quality sleep. So I woke up very groggy, a little bit more tired than I usually am. That's why I'm recording this video typically earlier than I usually would. It's because I actually didn't go to the gym today. I took the day to relax, eat my dinner earlier so then I don't eat it too late and then get bad sleep. So that's sort of how I started my day. Nevertheless, I still made my bed. I took a shower the night before, so didn't have to worry about that. I got everything ready. It was all good. I had a really productive morning. So in the morning, I actually was able to practice my scripts for over an hour. It was specifically buyer objections and greetings for open houses, and I took a lot of time to study those scripts. Now, of course, I was able to memorize them in that hour. Right now, if I were to tell you, I probably would end up forgetting again, actually, which is why it's important that I have these printed out and for me to rehearse even when I'm at the open house and on my free time and when I'm actually working in the office. So not to kind of spoil what I'm doing tomorrow, I actually am going to continue to focus on studying my scripts. That is the first thing I do in the morning, period, because it helps me become or act more like an expert at the very minimum. I cannot be servicing clients and helping people in need if I don't behave like an expert. So that's why these scripts are the first thing I do in the morning. I absolutely have to get these done. Okay, so what do I do after that? So Wednesdays in the office, I've noticed, are very much more sociable. There's more people around. There's more agents, just people in general. That's because we have business meetings. So I had mentorship 1.0 today. And then I also went to the business meetings, and then I talked with my lender about buyer objections, and he had his own seminar regarding how to handle buyer objections and, what's the number one fear that buyers have? It's often affordability. And to kind of go deeper into that, it's all about the monthly payments the buyer has to pay. So the buyer is more focused on what they have to pay every month rather than the total price of the home. Because you can actually lower rates and make it actually less expensive for the buyer if you actually increase the price of the home sometimes, which I thought was very interesting. Of course, my lender is the number one lender in the entire state of Indiana and one of the best lenders in the United States. So he's really good at what he does. He offers excellent resources. Great guy. Okay, so I learned a lot from him. During my mentorship 1.0 meeting, however, that's when things started to kind of derail. So I did my scripts, and then after that, I did the mentorship 1.0 meeting, which it was me and one other agent there. Like I said before, these meetings are never really that full. And for some reason, when I go to these meetings, I just can't help but feel like I don't come out feeling like I'm clear and motivated and ready to move. Both times I went there, I just really didn't get much from it because it doesn't really seem more like a mentorship than it does more so like a 10-minute piece of advice. And maybe that's because they don't know me that well since I'm new in the office and we haven't really built that relationship like I have with some of the other agents that I've been having guidance from. But when they started mentioning open houses, for example, because that's one of my pride lead generation tactics, she mentioned that more and more buyers are already represented and they make sure, and she even makes sure that her clients bring her business cards to the open house to make sure that people like me don't annoy them. So, because you don't want the annoying agent to bother you and when I heard that, it hurt me because, I kind of elaborated further on that and then I'm like, okay, then are you saying like they're useless? And she proceeded to say, essentially, at least this is what I got from it. I could be totally wrong. It's better to do that on a Sunday morning or afternoon than to do nothing. And it's like, I don't know, like, correct me if I'm wrong if I'm feeling like negative about this or there's something wrong here that I'm missing, and there likely is. Like I said, I'm new and I'm also tired, so I'm a little bit more sensitive to things, I'm sure. But that just like really rubbed me the wrong way when she said that. And I know it wasn't like an attack or anything. She was trying to be helpful. And it was just a point that she made up. But it had me thinking, without a doubt. Okay? So I actually ended up doing all those meetings, and then I had to meet with an agent that I've built rapport with. His name's Mike. I'm not going to give him his last name just for personal reasons. But I was talking with Mike, okay? And I've known this guy for over a year. So after I did all my business meetings and my scripts, I went over to his team's office over in Westfield. The Keller Williams office is in Carmel. So I met him in Westfield. And he said he wanted to meet me or get to see me again and say hi to the rest of the team because he hired some new people. And I never got to meet his very good son. So I ended up meeting him, and he offered me to host an open house, which I accepted. And I'm going to be helping them putting up signs on Saturday for an event that they have going on. It's some sort of festival that they're having in one of the neighborhoods. Tons of people are going to be showing up, so it's going to be a really good time. I'm going to help them assemble all that and help them out with that, and then also host an open house. So I'm hosting 3 open houses this weekend, which is really awesome. So I was able to get it from him, and I posted on social media, and everything like that. So I don't know if I talked about this before, but when I had that last mentorship meeting, I'm actually going to move my microphone closer. When I had that first mentorship 1.0 meeting, I really talked to her about cold calling as a potential lead generation tactic that I was interested in. Because to me, cold calling is very notorious from what I've heard, but it sounds like something that is quantifiable, easy as far as calculating numbers goes on what I need to hit. And it seems like a more proactive approach to sales and real estate and really getting my skin in the game to understanding the market and a fast track for me to become an expert. But I've always been, like by other agents, I've always been swayed away from that, where it's like, don't focus on cold calling. Don't focus on, outbound prospecting and pounding the phone. You want to start building your sphere of influence and talking to your contacts and seeing if they want to buy or sell. And for most people, and maybe this is such a defeating mindset, like I don't mean to sound negative. This is just a skeptic that I had, and it's something that I mentioned to Mike later on in our conversation. So picture this, okay? The average agent is likely around 50 years old. I'm 22. Most people my age aren't buying a home. And then it comes with all my friends probably don't own, and all of them are in college or elsewhere. They're moving and doing all this stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking. They might know someone who might know someone who might know someone, and then that person might talk with you. And that's true, okay? Like your sphere of influence does have power in the fact that you could get a potential lead if you really flex it and really build good relationships with people in your database. I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever. But you got to really think here. In my mind, I'm thinking that seems like such an unpredictable, how can you calculate and quantify that stuff? Like that isn't something to me that I'm a very straightforward guy, okay? I'm thinking what can I do every day to get to my goal? That sending newsletters and mail, it just seems like noise to me. Okay? That seems like that's not getting me closer to my goal. Maybe it is. Like I said, I keep saying this. I could be so wrong here. But my thought process is if I'm cold calling, I am outwardly talking with people about real estate. And at that point, I know I'm going to have people that hang up, say, screw you, I hate you, stop talking to me, all this stuff. But it's something that I can do. I can just pound the phone, get a dialer, find contacts. I can find expireds and FSBOs and hit them up. And it's all about quantity, how many quality conversations about real estate I make. It's literally a numbers game. That to me makes sense. Okay, so I don't understand why it's such a negative thing to talk about cold calling. Probably because it's salesy and it's really hard from what I've heard. And it's easier to, when you're new, it's easier to just flex on your sphere of influence and talk with them about real estate. So I mentioned this to Mike, okay? And his son, who is only 3 years older than me, is a first or second generation, third generation real estate agent. So his dad's second gen, his grandparents are first gens, okay? This guy is a really successful agent, very sharp, speaks very well. He's very calm and introverted, sort of. I got that feeling from him. And a lot of ways I see myself in that with him. And I mentioned to both of them and everyone in the office, I had these concerns about, like, why is everyone telling me that this is what I need to be doing and not actually actively seeking out business? Because, I mean, I am with a sphere of influence, but what I'm saying is they know my situation, okay? I only got several months of expenses. After that, I'm finding a full-time job in real estate, not being an agent, but something in the field. If I can't find can't have any traction by November, that's what I'm doing. And I'm one guy, one mission. What am I doing? Okay, so they understand that. And I asked him, Mike's son, and I know that he is successful because he pounds the phone. Like, he cold calls like crazy. He's got a dialer. Like, that's his thing. Not many agents in the office. He is the only one I actually know that actually cold calls, like, legitimately. And I asked him, I was like, what do you think about this? And both of them agreed that it's a more proactive way to make business. And although it's frowned upon because of how difficult it is, it's something that's going to be able to get you ahead of the schedule and understand the market quicker than most new agents that are my age. And I'm like, there you go. Thank you for mentioning that. And I asked him, I was like, why do you cold call? Like, why is this stuff so important? And, why do you even like doing this? And he mentioned this to me. He said, Mike's son, no one likes cold calling, he told me. Nobody. But you do it because, like, what else can you do in the sense of trying to get business? I mean, now we're talking lead generation stuff here, but it's almost like no one likes cold calling, but we do it for a reason, because it is the fastest way to build progress. I'm convinced. And I may be wrong about this, okay? So if I go back to a video and I say I'm wrong, then I might be wrong, but this is genuinely what I believe is truthful. Okay, so essentially, this is likely going to be a longer video. We're about 12 and a half minutes in. This is going to be a longer video. Essentially, that's how my day went. And then at the very end, I started promoting my open houses, posting it on social media, getting the marketing stuff ready. That's all I did. So most of my day was business meetings and talking with other agents, which I would have preferred. I would have preferred to just do my grind like I usually do, but there's a lot I learned today. And quite frankly, when I came back to my apartment, I was exhausted. Like, I am very tired. Like, it's 9:49. I think I went to bed at like past 11. So I really am just going to hit the hay and get good sleep tonight. But that's how my day went. So what's the plan tomorrow? We're going to start talking about this. What's the plan? The plan tomorrow is, of course, always scripts. Now, good news, I'm actually in conversations with another agent to purposefully do role play for at least about an hour a day. So we're going to go ahead and get that scheduled, and her and I are going to have conversations about that. But I'm dedicating 3 hours of my day tomorrow to literally just practice scripts. Yesterday, I practiced for an hour. I am doing 3 hours. And that's going to be, that's going to be tomorrow. That's going to be Friday. And then after my open houses, and then just every hour, first thing I'm doing is scripts. I'm doing 3 hours straight. That's it, unless I need a water break or go to the bathroom or something like that. So that's my first hour of my day, or first 3 hours of my day. After that, I am going to go and look at the market, get a good sense of what's going on around there. And then after that, I'm going to go on my lunch break. And then it's going to be a lot like Tuesday. It's going to be a lot like day 2. Or I guess it would be, yeah. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is my due diligence on the new open house I have and the other open house. I'm going to make a comparative market analysis for both of those. I don't need to do this, but it helps me know the houses better, the homes better, the real estate better. So I'm going to prepare those CMAs. I'm going to email them both to Mike and then to the other agent I'm going to be having hosted. And then Friday, same thing in the morning, practicing scripts. But then I got to leave early because I am actually going to the haircut back in my hometown in Brown County. And then I'm driving back, and then I'm getting this stuff ready. I'm going to get the signs and stuff put up for Saturday. If you can't tell, I'm very tired. And this was the first day where I was like, fuck this, dude. Like, not just because of the work I did, but also because of the doubts that were lingering in my mind. Like in the morning, there's just certain people that I'm just starting to understand in this industry. Not like hate, okay? I'm not trying to be negative, no hate. But there's just things where I'm just sort of like skeptical on what people say, and no one, here's the thing, I'm not the right, prospect for many coaches out there, only because I look at certain things. Now, of course, I'm not saying I'm not coachable. I love learning. Literally, learning is my favorite thing to do. When they mentioned, hey, look at your sphere of influence, I really thought hard about it, and they have a point. And honestly, when I go to when I'm in Westfield and I start building relationships here, the sphere of influence is going to matter more than ever. And that's when they will 100% be correct about that. But right now, I need instant business, or not like super fast, but I need to get rolling now. And I think I'm doing a good job on that right now. But cold calling is the best way to do that. Now, after I do my due diligence on the open house tomorrow, I am going to look up dialers, try to look up dialer options. Yes, it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost money, and it's going to cost a hefty penny. Okay, so that's even more money in the budget of money that I actually don't have. So it's a risk, and it's a very heavy risk, and I'm going to have to really think deep, like, is this really something I want to do? And maybe the answer isn't to spend more money. But, like, to be quite frank, it's so much work, and that's also one thing that stressed me out. Like, cold calling, so much work. You got to get the scripts right. You got to have the emotional bandwidth to hear so many no's and people telling you to screw off, and you got to make like 200 calls, first of all, to even get like maybe one sale. I mean, you're talking like 50 calls, 50 contacts for one lead. One lead. And you don't even know if that lead is even going to be like a client. Okay, so that is the way it's looking like right now. And this is for listings, man. Like, I'm a new agent, and listings are daunting, but I do not care. I'm sounding very sissy right now. Catch myself being like, oh, it's too hard. Oh, this shit. It doesn't matter how I feel about this situation. What matters is that I just do it and I figure it out. Because that is all I can do at this point, is what can I control? And it comes to moments like these where I start to think of whether I'm going to win or I lose because of what I tell myself. And the importance of that is by just doing what needs to get done. And it's open house scripts for 3 hours. It's my due diligence. It's looking up dialers for cold calling and getting that set up right now. I just have to do it. And guess what? I will wake up at 7 a.m. tomorrow and do it right over again. I keep doing it again and again and again. The best of the best in the Navy SEALs, they get tested. And the drill sergeant knows that the ones that they want to keep are the ones that just keep breaking the most. Like, they keep training, they break them again, they break them again, and they break them again. And they want the guys that can break the most. Same thing in business. Same thing. I got to keep going. I have no other choice. This is all I have. I have solutions that are in front of me. I have resources. Okay, I got great people in the office. Mentorship training, everything. Great people in the office. And I have the resources I need to have to be successful. All right, so we're getting to 20 minutes in this video. This is a long video. We'll go ahead and do day 5 tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and start this all over again. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So see you guys. Have a great night and sleep well.